Hell yeah.
This is just a fun little anecdote that I shared before Skype was allowing me to speak, apparently. Before I decided that I was allowed to join the conversation. That I cosplayed being a surgeon this morning, unintentionally. I realized to...
Elaborate on that.
I realized too late that I had just washed all of my towels this morning, and I didn't have a clean... hand towel in my bathroom, and so I washed my hands, but then I had to walk out like a surgeon with my hands up, and I was like, oh my god, Shonda would be so proud of me. And that is the qualifications that I'm bringing to the space today.
I love that.
So
yeah, wow.
Thank you.
My qualifications is that I have a personal connection to Adam Sandler.
Fuck. What?
Wait, bury the lead. Holy shit.
That's why I freaked out when I realized it was Adam Sandler movie, because
Which, like,
his
first of all,
sister is my dentist.
Sorry. What?
Your teeth get examined by the sister of Happy Madison himself.
I just saw this again on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Your 6 siblings of Kevin Bacon is yes. About your dentist?
Yes.
Okay,
wow.
Wait, what? How did you find that out?
Because the first time I walked in there, they had glowing recommendations for a friend of mine. And I walked in, and they had all of his posters everywhere. And I was like, why are they such a big fan of this man?
It was called Sandler Smiles, obviously.
Which, like, a very threatening aura to walk into in a dentist.
And then when the receptionist saw me looking around, very confused, and she was like, "Oh yeah, like he's like that's one of the dentist's like brothers, so they obviously are very big fans." And then the other
they
dentist
should have like red X's over it, because that's what you do when you're siblings.
Like Photoshop like an animal into the movie poster.
This guy's a loser.
And then so his sister and his niece both like have their own dentist practice. Wow. And I was getting a cleaning the other day.
The whole family.
So he stopped the legacy by becoming an actor?
Yes.
He's the disgraceful one?
Well, no, I think they said, we're never going to do any better than him. Like, he has set the bar too high for the quality of film that no one even tried.
Sure.
Yeah. Might as well spend 8 years in dentist school and just do it that way.
So when I was getting a cleaning the other day, the like nurse assistant person asked my dentist, like, "Oh, how's Adam doing?" And it sounded like something was wrong. And I was getting clean. My teeth were getting drilled, and I was like, "What's going on with Adam? Is he okay?" But they didn't give me any other details.
Damn.
Oh no. So can someone check in on Adam Sandler?
The last thing that I saw about him on Twitter was that he was wearing his like usual fit at like the Louvre or something. So I think he's fine.
We stand a king who stands basketball shorts every day of the year.
That man, he's an icon in so many ways.
Also, still not over. Sorry, we'll introduce you and stuff, but I'm not over this idea of you walking into a dentist's office not knowing anything. Already probably like feeling a little stressed
because it's the dentist.
Kind of it's the dentist. You're scared. You're like, they're gonna put holes in my teeth. I hate that, you know. And then you like walk in and there's wall to wall posters of Adam the Sandman Sandler. Like, that's what sort of fugue state have you been in to be like, sorry, this is a place where I'm gonna trust people drilling into my mouth.
Right.
For an hour.
It was just such a shock, and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I don't know if I had a famous sibling if I would plaster him around my dentist's office, but to each their own. And then I was just like, this is such a, like, it is my favorite fun fact, is just like, yeah.
Did
because it's like,
only play Adam Sandler movies? Like, did they really just lean in? Did their business cards have his face on it?
Could you imagine if they just played his, like, Hanukkah album?
Oh my god. 24/7.
Because nothing would make me more... I'm not a person who gets nervous by the dentist.
Yeah.
But nothing would make me the opposite of that and very fucking nervous about the dentist if they played, what was that last movie that he was in about the diamonds? With
Uncut Gems.
If they were playing Uncut Gems in the waiting room for the dentist, are you kidding me? I would piss in the seat. There's no way. There's no way. No.
It's truly, honestly, I think if they were, like, if they weren't, I don't think they could have gotten away with it if they weren't so good. Like, they have, like, excellent customer service. So I'm like, I think this is how you let this, like, people let this kind of weird thing about you slide, is because everything else is great.
You would have to, right? Because can you imagine the bad publicity of, like, sorry, we're taking Sandler Smiles to the Better Business Bureau, and the bad publicity that would cause on Mr. Adam Sandler?
The Mr. Adam Sandler.
Jesus Christ. Anyways,
oh my goodness.
This is actually all I want to talk about, but that's not in fact why we
fuck
brought
this
you
episode.
on.
Interesting. Go on.
Taylor, I can't believe it's taken us this long. You just have a really booked schedule. We had to contact, you are our intern, but we did have to contact another person to get you on.
That is my assistant / co-house owner, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
our
weird.
people
We
had
had
to talk to
your
your
roommate
people
to get you on. It was kind of fucked up. They're not on our payroll. It was weird.
Yeah.
For anyone that I don't know why they would be listening to our bonus fucking episode if they don't know who you are. But Taylor, outside of being our unofficial intern, could you tell everyone who you are and what magic that you do outside of providing us really fucked up fan fiction?
Yes, I'm Taylor Brown Town Lautner. That is my legal and also Christian name.
Is that what you signed when you got your house?
It took so long.
They were like,
yeah,
your
it's a
realtor
pretty
was
long
like
signature,
doing your
but it's
credit
worth
reports,
it.
and they're like, sorry, what the fuck? What's your
What's
legal
happening
middle
here?
name?
It's not even hyphenated.
No, all 4 separate names.
Yeah, my first name's actually 4 names.
And I work in insurance. Or, I mean, specifically HR, but I do benefits.
Wow.
Doing
The most
such
experienced
important work.
person we've had on this show with qualifications.
And I've said that, listen, I know some of you are going to come for me because I've said that we've had experts over the past month. Fuck you. Taylor's legitimately the biggest expert who I could actually ask for help and could give me real actionable advice. And that's very helpful to me.
I'm so glad to hear that. I do have a license that says I know my
helper.
shit, so
Gold star.
Yeah, right. And also, like, this is not a dig to, like, the beautiful guests that we have on the show, but speaking myself as a writer, and we have a lot of writers and stuff on the show, if you ask a writer for advice about how to write, it's writing is hard.
Right, exactly.
That's the advice.
It's like, just
you know,
do it.
there's nothing tangible. Taylor has tangible life advice.
Whereas, like, when you
it's a
get
one-up.
hired onto a job and they give you that fucking big stack of papers and they're like, get this to me immediately, you can go to Taylor and be like, Taylor, I don't know. Taylor knows. Taylor knows how to not fuck yourself over with those.
yes, that is actually my professional title. Thank you.
Yeah. Which is, I've noticed when you do new hire events, there's rarely a person there who tells you, here's how to not get fucked with these.
Right.
And
It's good to have one of those people around.
Yeah, I think it's very much an oversight on a lot of companies. Like,
Yeah.
you need somebody, because, like, you get to a certain, I feel like I got to a certain age where I was like, I'm not allowed to ask this question because I should know, but no one ever taught me it, so I don't know how to know it.
Absolutely. I completely agree. We're all just looking at each other like, hey, can I copy off of your paper? I know that's got your social security number on it, but, like, what are you writing down? Can we just like do the same thing on here? I'm so glad that you're here. I know for a fact that you have listened to all of our episodes about, like, what is our happy thing and stuff. I'm desperate to know what your happy thing is.
So it was funny, when you first asked me on the pod, I was like, I want my happy thing to be I bought a house, but I hadn't bought my house yet. And I was like, this entire thing is contingent on us closing in time. I was so hell-bent.
The podcast is a wash if you don't buy this house.
I was like, I will just not be happy.
If we can't buy this house, then we have to buy a zoo. We just have to, we gotta do
Yes.
something else.
Right.
Oh my god, the way I have tried to figure out how to fit at least 2 goats in my backyard.
Dude.
I'm working on it.
Oh my god. Yes.
But yeah, my happy thing is I bought a house with my best friend, and it is my dream come true.
Truly
Hell yeah.
feels so
That's-
unattainable in these streets right now.
Right.
And I'm so
in this
proud of
economy,
you.
literally.
Honestly, I don't even know how we got it. Like, it does not make any sense. We got it for under asking price.
What?
We
Wow.
bought it from some
Insane.
nuns, which is also just a fun fact about the house. They're very kind. We met them at the signing, and they almost made me cry because they were so
Can
nice.
I look at your birth chart?
Right.
What the fuck?
We need to hold the rest of this episode to just do a deep
You
dive
just keep
on
saying
the Adam
stuff
Sandler.
that sounds
Yeah,
like
you
you
can't
got
just
it
keep
from a
dropping
word
these
generator.
landmines.
Well, I
Right,
don't know. I
that's-
came in prepared with like my Adam Sandler story and stuff, but as I continued to talk, I was like, you know what? This does all feel very made up.
You got bits on deck, you know? You got things. You're just dropping shit left and
Right.
right. And we're just trying to pick up the pieces here, trying to keep up.
Taylor,
I'm so sorry.
I now understand why you've had like an almost 3-year-long thread of your roommate just reacting to your existence. Because you just
Yeah.
come in, you're like, so I found a house, these nuns are selling it. And your roommate's like, sorry, what? Where
It's
did
also-
you come from?
It's also across the street from a cemetery. I don't think that's giving too
Fuck,
much away,
yes,
but I think
what?
it's also very
Man,
funny.
yes, let's go.
Oh my god, Taylor.
Wow. I feel like we really opened like a Pandora's box.
Yeah.
Right now. in the
You
space.
could have
I love it.
ghost goats.
Ooh, that's good.
You sound like your life is a book, and Taylor,
Okay, hear me out.
Do you
though.
regret
If-
checking the book out from the library because I would understand?
no, I just,
Listen,
I regret asking you to talk about a movie when there are just so many things you're dropping that we could
we could just talk about
instead.
you for an hour. I do. I know we're supposed to actually talk about something, but if K-Stu's gay ghost hunting show goes
Oh
well,
my
we
God.
can pivot. We can pitch a spin-off Ghost Goats, and I think that would be good content.
I think
I'm just
that's
so
afraid,
K-Stu.
Taylor, that like somehow when we're talking about this movie, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, and like 3 years ago I died for 37 seconds, and I'm gonna have to like walk away from recording because you just keep burying the fucking lead.
Yeah. Taylor, bury the lead, brown town.
Exactly. Cody, I don't usually do this when we do bonus Genesis because we don't have structure and form here, but I am just a little bit
Yeah.
curious about a happy thing since I spoke to you last.
Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna bring another video game to the space
Dude,
because it's a
okay.
bonus episode, so I don't feel like I'm clogging the feeds with my bullshit.
Yeah, I love a gamer.
I'm in my gamer era, which is derogatory.
Don't do that when I'm drinking water. God.
Yeah. Sorry. I've been playing this game called Going Under, and it's like
In
a
this game called Farmerville. Have you heard of it?
it's called Farmville. I've been on Facebook recently. It's really chill. It's like a dungeony kind of like fighting game or whatever, but it's like super pretty and cute, and it's literally you're like an unpaid intern at a terrible Silicon Valley startup situation.
Taylor made it.
And you have to like right, exactly. And you have to like defeat all these monsters to destroy capitalism.
Damn. Okay.
And it's really good and it's really pretty. I'm also very bad at it. I get really mad at it, so it's like kind of a happy thing, but kind of like I've played the same level literally 50 times because they track how many times you've run it.
Dude,
And
no.
I still haven't beaten it. And I get close and I'm like, I'm gonna die, so I have to like put it down and walk away. But like it is fun. Like I feel like I'm learning how to play the game better, but I'm not learning as quickly as I'd like to do it well.
Sure.
But I am having a fun time. It's very nice. And I think it's like $5 right now. So if you want
Oh,
to
that's not
have
bad.
a little bit of fun, you can have some fun there. That is my happy thing.
I like fun.
Yeah, it's fun. When I think I just get too mad, but for the most part, it's fun. Me is the problem.
That is
Which
real.
is not a neg on my happy thing. Yeah. How are you? And what about your happy? This is so weird doing this. With bonus,
it's so
by the way,
fucked
but
up,
like,
but it's okay.
I'm like, I feel like I had to come prepared with notes. But how are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm gonna be honest. I've been really happy with the weather this week. It's really felt like fall here, and so I'm very grateful for that. I am unfortunately remembering what I tend to do around mid-September, which is that it gets darker earlier. And one of the things that I did not invest in when I had to purchase all of the new furniture that I did back in May was ambient lighting. Because I moved here in the summer and I did not need it then. Because my love, the sun, went to sleep around like 9, which was great. Didn't need it. Had lots of windows. That's not the truth now. Now that it goes to sleep when I eat dinner. So I did get a couple of some soft lights because I'm anti big light. And can I
document it?
Yes. And I forgot how much happier I feel when I have soft light around. That is I'm not happy when it gets dark earlier, but I do feel a big sense of peace when there's just some soft feeling like candlelight, even if it's not candlelight around. And I have the windows open and it's like 63. Fuck. Damn. If that could just be forever, that would be good. Like,
yeah, that's a mood for sure.
Yeah, it definitely helps with what is going to be, which is like I've got my sad lamp nearby. Haven't had to use it yet, but I'm very grateful that ambient lighting exists, because I remember just having to grow up with like the boob light and only the boob light, and that's not good for health and stuff.
No. Doesn't make you feel good.
No, it doesn't.
Look good.
It doesn't.
And it, most importantly, it looks like a boob.
And it does. It does look like a boob, which is funny. It's good.
It's funny and haha, but it's not good.
But it is very harsh, and I don't like that. Taylor, I do think sometime in the last few years you have told us your Twilight backstory, but I would love to hear it from your own words.
Sure.
From your mouthpiece.
I can do that.
From your Adam Sandler grill.
I got into Twilight, I think in 8th grade, and it was because my best friend liked it, and she kept telling me, oh, you need to read this thing called Twilight, and I was like, whatever, I don't know. I just didn't want to. I think I had this thing when I was younger where I was like, oh, if it sounds like too popular, I'm like, no, I'm not going to read it. And then someone else recommended it afterwards. I don't remember who, but then I read it, and then my best friend got...
It's a guy named Robert Pattinson.
He's really edgy and just like deep.
I met him on a train.
Then he offered to do my teeth.
God.
So I read it and obviously instantly fell in love. And then I got my mom into it. So now we're both big Twilight fans. And then my mom's best friend got into it. So I have a photo somewhere that I'll have to find of like us at, I think, the Breaking Dawn book premiere at a Barnes & Noble.
Okay.
And I just never stopped. When people were like talking about the Twilight Renaissance, like Twilight coming back, I was like, bestie, it never went away. Twilight is always in fashion.
Right.
So, yeah, I think I reread it like once every year and a half, just for, to remember.
For giggles.
Yeah, just remember it, revisit my little family.
I feel that. That makes a lot of sense to me. How do you feel about Life and Death and Midnight Sun?
Ooh.
I have so many thoughts. I'll keep them
Unhinge
contained.
that jaw. Unhinge that Sandler jaw.
I think Life and Death is one of the best books ever written. And I think I'm very brave for saying that.
Whoa, okay. Shit.
I think it's what Stephanie Meyer, like, she kind of, like, tried to redeem some of the things she did wrong in Twilight that I think she recognizes now. Again, I'm probably giving her too much credit, but I don't know. I loved the ending. I was like, I think that's exactly how I would have liked Twilight to end, and that if we didn't get the other books, I would have been okay. I just, Bo and Edith, like, I made a shirt that said Team Edith on it, because I love Edith Cullen.
Yes. So true.
I'm such a Life and Death fan. It's green. It has an apple on the front of it that says Life and Death.
The characters in Life and Death are very interesting to me.
Yes.
Oh, for sure. So much, they give us so much more material, I feel.
I know, and I feel like, I really feel like she said, okay, here's how I fucked up Twilight. I'm going to try to do better. And I'm really proud of her.
Now, follow-up question, do you think she thought about righting her wrongs when she wrote Midnight Sun? Yes or no?
I think she had the draft from Midnight Sun written 10, 12 years ago, and then just sent it to her publisher and said, here you go.
That's what we were saying, too. Because, like, the first, 2-4 chapters are exactly the same. Like, that were leaked or whatever. So it's like, no shot.
Yeah.
She wrote anything else new currently, you know? Like, she just had this all in the back burner and just had some chapters leak, and that sucked, for sure.
Yeah.
But she had this ready to go and said, send it to print, boys. This is it. Nobody's touching this.
I will say what I did like about Midnight Sun was I liked learning more about how just, like, anxious Edward was, because, like, we obviously picked that up from Bella's perspective, but every time she thought he was so, like, dark and brooding and intense, he was just freaking the fuck out, and I was like, this man is so relatable.
I agree. I enjoyed Midnight Sun far more than I expected when we were reading it. Yeah. And I think that it's primarily because reading Twilight itself, not necessarily the whole series, but Twilight itself, Bella's like, damn, he's so hot. I'll never be able to live up to this. And when you read Midnight Sun, he is absolutely hates himself, regrets everything that he's doing, and is
like, what if I had a panic attack every 4 minutes?
Yes. And is just spiraling out of control, and is like, damn, why is my dad making us go through high school? I don't want to be here.
This sucks.
So
high school's the worst.
I think that primarily throughout all of them, as we have seen, not enough Carlisle, not enough Joanne, unfortunately.
Yeah,
agreed.
Fucked up. Yeah.
But alas, what can we do? You know, there's just fan fiction for that.
I was just gonna say that's why fan fiction's there.
Yeah. What I dream of is, like, I know that this might actually kill Stephanie. You know what? Fuck it. It's like a nativity set. And, like, but, like, Joseph is Charlie and Mary is Carlisle, and, like, the baby, who's gonna be Jesus?
You kind of walked yourself into a corner here, huh?
Okay, you know what? The Jesus is, I'll think about that in a second. The three kings, obviously, are Esme, Rosalie, and Alice, obviously.
Yeah,
okay.
Of course.
But my Jesus, obviously, is Seth.
Oh, Seth is good.
Because I love to imagine little Seth wrapped up in a manger.
Oh, sweet baby.
Yeah.
And I feel like this nativity set, carved in wood and then hand painted, very beautifully, like Etsy style, right? Seeing that done, I think would literally kill Stephanie Meyer.
Yeah, I think she wouldn't be able. She'd just turn to dust.
Right.
Honestly.
I agree.
So if we know any custom nativity set makers,
I would pay
Etsy,
so much money.
We have a budget, and I'm not against spending all of it.
If anyone has the fucking like Jacob Black wood carving skills for this, I'm not kidding, I would pay money for this.
This is not a joke.
It is absolutely, I know I'm laughing, it's not a fucking joke. I would pay so much money to have that in my home all year round. To tell my grandchildren at some point, like, this is the nativity set that we bring out every year. I'm not Christian, but yes, we do have a nativity set.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, Christmas last year, my mom and I know, I'm so sorry.
Are you Jesus? Where is it going?
My mom and I made gingerbread men, but we turned them into One Direction, as you do when you're making gingerbread men.
As you do.
You know, a normal family activity.
Right.
But as we were talking, I remembered that I had told my mom this year I wanted to turn the characters from Twilight into gingerbread men.
Fuck, yes.
So I think we could kind of spin that into a nativity. Like, I think we could, if we bought a nativity scene, I'm going to try. I have a goal now.
One, I need photos of this.
Absolutely.
This is so important to me. And also, preemptively, thank you to your mother in advance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the idea, even a gingerbread nativity scene is so fucking funny to me.
Perfect. It's so good.
As someone who is again, have to emphasize to you aggressively not Christian, this is so fucking funny to me. Specifically because the fact that I know that Stephanie Meyer would shipwrecks. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We asked you.
Me.
You specifically. To watch Home Team for this bonus episode. Thinking, wow, it's been a really long time since Taylor Lautner was in a movie.
Mm.
Yeah.
Taylor, before you went into this, before you saw the email from us, had you seen this movie?
I had not.
Okay. Did you know anything about this movie other than Taylor Lautner was in it?
I knew that he was a football coach in it, and
So
that was pretty
Okay.
much it.
Okay. Cody, did you know anything about this movie prior to watching it last night?
No, I just knew the Kevin James and the
Right.
Taylor Lautner of it all.
Yeah.
And I think I maybe knew that, like, the Saints were involved in some aspect of it, but not, like, concretely. Yeah.
Yeah. I knew Kevin James was in it. I assumed it was going to be Kevin James, Paul Blart Mall Cop-esque, because that's all I know him from.
Sure.
And I knew Taylor Lautner was in it. I knew, because I put this photo on our Twitter account, that it had something to do with football. That is all I knew.
Well, welcome.
And unfortunately, was immediately I had a jump scare seeing Peyton Manning. I just want to say preemptively, thank you, Netflix, for only making this movie 90 minutes. It was a lot easier when I clicked on it.
Mm-hmm.
To say, okay, I can do 90 minutes.
Yeah, that's a good limit, you know?
It's a lot harder if it's anything above that to kind of settle myself in. Taylor, first of all, I'm sorry. You did say you asked someone to watch this with you. Could you tell me about your viewing experience watching this?
Okay, would you like me to set the scene? Because it is very important. Okay,
yes.
Good. So the house, there's lots of layers to the house, but essentially I don't have a couch upstairs, which is where I typically hang out. So I don't have a couch, and the TV doesn't fit in my room. So I have a giant beanbag chair, which I sat in, and then I used an ottoman I got on Facebook Marketplace that I'm eventually going to reupholster as a coffee table where my friend was propped up. So I sat under a blanket on a giant beanbag chair in front of an ottoman and watched this film.
That sounds great.
Yeah, I was very cozy. It was a great time.
It seems optimal viewing.
That was probably the most pleasant part of the viewing experience, I will say, is the comfiness. Everything else, you know. I'm proud of Taylor for branching out again, because I know at least from what I recall reading, he kind of took a break from acting because he was tired of being sexualized.
Yeah, sorry, Taylor, ahead of time. Taylor Lautner specifically. I know that's why you did this, but fuck.
It was so beefy.
You came back looking like an absolute beefcake.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And this, listen,
the ass was unreal.
The acting in this, hun, not your best work. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, to be fair, he didn't really do a lot. You know what I mean? Like, this was obviously a very Kevin James inspired vehicle.
Exactly. The material
Taylor Lautner
material he was given was nothing.
Taylor Lautner was just kind of there to, like, give a side eye sometimes and be like, hey, champ, you know, like, you got this, sport. Like, if we all just believe in ourselves, we can do this together, you know? Like, that's kind of the gist of it, which, like, he did fine, I guess. But, yeah, he looked unreal.
He looked,
in that.
Honestly, it reminded me so much of the beefcake from the Orange is the New Black that took... who was also in How to Get Away with Murder, right? Who took off acting for a minute and then came back in that spoopy show last year. And I was like... Oh, yes. The one that was based on the podcast. I'm saying no words
the
now.
Archive 81 or whatever. Yeah.
And I was like, I haven't seen you in forever. And you got thick and hot as fuck. And it was honestly really distracting. That like, first scene that he walked in. I was like... I know you don't want to be sexualized, but you're making it a little bit hard. So
yeah, it's kind of
during
hard for me.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say during the pool scene, the friend I watched this with, we were on nipple watch because we were waiting for him to take his shirt off.
Oh my god! Hey.
Because I was like, I didn't think he would take his shirt off, which was fine. But I was like, I can't imagine getting this jacked just to wear a polo. So I kept waiting for there to be a scene where he did. But he didn't. I was disappointed.
That's fine. And that's
unfortunate.
Fine. You know what?
Yeah, whatever. Chase your bliss.
Yeah.
Rock that fitted polo, my guy.
He's playing coach duty of like, I need to make sure these kids don't like crack their head open.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I get it.
Right. Kevin James wants them all to have concussions, and I just can't let that happen.
So I did not know that this was based on a true story until they flashed it on the screen.
I know, me either.
Yeah,
I had to look it up afterwards because I was like, wait, I need to know the tea.
But like, I believe it because the NFL is like that sometimes. I also will say, I don't give a flying fuck about NFL. What I do care a lot about is youth and high school football. One of my favorite television shows is Friday Night Lights, so I care a lot about low stakes. It's not low stakes for these people, but like low stakes football. What I was not prepared for was what dropped pretty quickly, but the initial accent that Kevin James had.
Yeah.
This attempt at like, I don't know if it was supposed to be like Louisiana-esque, but it was just like vaguely Southern.
Yeah, it was just kind of a hodgepodge of different
it was this, like,
Southern accents.
I don't know if he was trying for Cajun, I don't know if he was trying for Texan, but the way that he said juicy fruit, I was like, I'm about to shut this fucking movie off.
I need to get away from this experience.
Right. Maybe.
Yeah, that voice was criminal. Also, I'm gonna drop a Taylor right now. I'm gonna pull a Taylor right now and drop a 6 degrees of separation right now. My grandpa did coach Kevin James in high school football.
What are you, Cody?
So
Kevin James.
Yeah.
Kevin James.
Yeah, the Kevin James. Yeah. Yes, he did in high school.
Why did I think? Why?
I can't tell you which position he played. I don't remember because all the football terms go over my brain like smooth.
I don't know why the idea of your grandpa coaching Kevin James is breaking my brain right now. I don't know why I've never thought about the fact that you had grandparents.
I do. Yeah, I do. It turns out.
Like, you've talked about your mom before,
coached
and
high
it's
school
like, yeah,
football.
sure, that makes sense. But you having grandparents just feels weird. What's
yeah,
that?
Sorry to burst the bubble.
So, how did you find this? How did you find this out?
There were just like photos in their old house and stuff of like his.
Were they blown up? Because
he
like
coached
in
a lot.
Sandler Smiles?
No, no, they were not. But he like coached high school football for like a really long time, and just had like all these little photos and stuff. And I was like, and I think maybe my mom was like, "Oh, that's Kevin James, like the actor guy." And I was like, "Blart?"
Yeah, like
Blart.
Paul Blart.
Well, this was pre-Blart. This was probably King of Queens era of
Dude,
Kevin James,
what?
and I was like, "Oh shit." Like when the time I was figuring out like this was a thing that happened in the past, and I was like, oh shit, that's nuts. And yeah, I guess at one point he like went to a show of his, like, because he was like in
Fuck.
Kevin James like went to tour in Florida or whatever, and my grandpa went. He was like, I don't want to like come up to him because he probably doesn't remember me, but he was just like, I just wanted to be there to support. And I was like, you could just he probably knows who you
Oh my god.
you
Was
can't
your
just
grandpa,
you
like,
could just say
Coach
hi.
Sandler?
I guess I don't
my
know.
God.
I have to dig more into the lore and see what's up. But yeah, that's a fact
That's
for you all to enjoy. That I'm
fucking-
comfortable having behind the paywall.
I would die for photos.
Yeah, I'll have to see if they're still exist. I'm sure they do.
Okay, that honestly makes a lot more sense because watching Kevin James in this, he weirdly felt natural on the football
Oh yeah.
like on the football field, and I've never seen Kevin James act natural in his entire acting career. And that felt uncomfortable to see, but now that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, he really does just fit because he kind of looks like every like NFL
Yes,
coach
he does,
guy
yeah.
that's just like just a white
He
guy.
felt natural with that visor
you
on his
know,
head.
with the visor. Yeah, exactly. Just like a little too aggressive for his own good, you know? Like it all kind
Good
of
with
the
having
dots are
issues with the
connecting.
sun.
Yeah, right. So good at that. Really top tier parental relationships.
Here's my question for you all. Since this is an Adam Sandler production, we did get some of the like Sandler alumni, I might say.
Yeah. Sure.
Specifically, I'm thinking about like Rob Schneider, right?
Yes, right.
And so if this is an Adam Sandler production, there had to have been some sort of like involvement there, right?
Oh, sure.
Here's my question. Adam Sandler, who if I remember correctly, did work with Kevin James in that like firefighter marriage movie.
Yes.
Yeah, they've worked together a lot. They did like a lot of those like goofy
Right.
movies in like the early 2000s. I feel like for a while they were like, hey, especially Adam Sandler has enough money to just like make whatever the fuck he wants with his friends,
Right.
kind of deal. And that's where a lot of those movies kind of came about, you know? And I feel like now, since, like, obviously, Adam Sandler's done, like, more serious roles in the past, but he's kind of, like, doing a little bit more of a pivot with, like, on the production side of
Right.
it. Like, oh, we're going to do Hustle, which is going to be me being, like, a sad basketball scout person who's figuring out his life. And then we're also going to do something else that I can't remember that's, like, sad, or Uncut Gems, right? Like, all
Uncut
these things that are,
Gems.
like, more sad man. And I think he's like, oh, let me take my comedy boys from the back and try to be like, what if I do a comedy but like make you feel like a sad adult
Right.
man? You know what I mean? Like have that sort of era to your oeuvre, like have like a different evolution of you,
Yeah.
which I think is kind of hilarious.
Here's my question then. If Adam Sandler was directly involved with getting Kevin James and Rob Schneider involved in this, is Adam Team Jacob?
Ooh.
That's a loaded question.
I mean, I feel like he has to,
I
right?
mean-
but also, could you imagine Robert Pattinson in this role?
I would not. I think honestly, Rob would have been great as Eric, the guy from the motel,
Yes.
Oh my god.
who made
Yeah.
this movie for me. If I'm being honest,
Oh yeah, he was selling it. He's like, yeah, we have bagels, but they're kind of our bagels, so we kind of don't want you to
and
eat
like
them.
the fact that the presidential suite was like $125.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that
You
dude.
think you could swing that, bud? Yeah.
Honestly, like,
Yeah.
as much as this movie is not great, don't
No.
don't take away from this by going to go watch this movie. Primarily because one of my biggest icks is fake vomit.
Yes.
Oh my god.
And-
it's so bad in
And
this.
I was not. There's no reason why
Yeah.
the scene that occurs has to have it when we are watching kids for the first time get a real TM coach, and it could have just been from like, I'm sick,
Right.
but I don't like fake vomit.
Because of my ex-wife's new husband's weird nature bars that he made, and all of the kids ate, and now they're fucking blowing chunks.
Right.
Well, already the field is covered in rain. It's already disgusting. It's
bad.
already a bad time. They're already not having fun, but they're like, we're gonna win this, baby.
Hey,
We
speaking
gotta
of
do
fun,
this.
though,
Speaking
Yeah.
of fun,
Ooh.
why did fun play such a big role in this movie?
I know why.
It is integral to this movie. We Are Young is the main plot line
Why-
of this movie. It is.
Why did Harlan have such an emotional connection to We Are Young? And why did that song in particular, when they played it twice, make me feel like the fucking Crypt Keeper?
So
Yeah.
my
These kids are babies. They're great actors,
Yeah.
by the way. Like, these
Yeah,
kid
they're
actors,
selling it for sure.
great.
fantastic.
When they played it twice, the first time almost made me cry when they're all singing together. Very cute.
Yeah.
But I felt so old.
So my theory about why it was played so much is because the movie is supposed to be set in 2012. And that's the
Right,
only
that
thing
was
that
my
made sense to me
understanding,
of like, okay, this was very popular then. But that's the only thing I could guess because it is a lot of this one specific band that broke up years ago.
Yes, right. That does also explain the Snuggie of it all to an extent. Why that was even there.
That's what got me back on my
all.
Snuggie train. Like now, I have a very specific Snuggie that I had when I was younger that I loved. That is
yeah.
unfortunately not with us anymore. And I was trying to find it again, and I cannot. So apparently, Snuggies have gotten a little out of style, and I'm not okay.
I think that's pretty messed
Damn.
up. To
It
be
is.
honest.
Yeah. I think an individual Snuggie is goated. I think a two-person Snuggie that they do in this particular film is abhorrent.
that is
And a
hate
crime. Yeah, absolutely.
That. Ugh. I think Rob Schneider playing the new husband was great.
Yeah.
Just him being essentially the antithesis to fucking, what is his first name? Sean Payton. And being like, oh, but it's for my M&Ms. And here's all this like vegan shit. I thought he was great.
Yeah.
But yes, I agree. I think that it makes a lot more sense now that I remember that it was from 2012, because I was like, that was the song that I remember playing my senior year of high school, and now that tracks a lot more.
Yeah.
But like the two main songs that they play throughout this, because a lot of it is just like in the captions, it's like melancholy music plays, where like uplifting song plays, but we get fun, and then we get fucking Creedence Clearwater Revival, and it's like, this is where you're spending. Okay,
Right.
this is where we're spending money. I think one of the joys for me was watching the children.
Mm-hmm.
They were great
Yeah.
actors. I think that it was very telling that it took Sean till almost the end of this season to learn, one, how to talk to his son, and
Yes.
also how to talk to his son's like friends and how to speak to at their level. Here's all these NFL plays with a fucking bagel scanned into them. But like the only way that they'll understand it is if we talk about like a grande burrito with everything. Like,
right. That way of doing it was actually
it was genius.
Like the fact that everyone was like, "Oh my god, this makes sense."
Yeah.
How because I was like, I don't really get it with this metaphor, but like I get how they get it, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I got you. We got little salsa over here. We got 2 chips running this way and this way. I'm like, okay, this is how kid understands.
Right.
This is
You
good.
just gotta talk.
This
You gotta
makes
talk
sense.
at their level, and that's all that matters.
Right.
I do think. I know, Taylor, you brought this up before we started recording, but it is essential to talk about.
Yes.
That you, as well as myself, for a good bit of this movie, thought that Kevin James was playing 2 roles.
Leading a double life.
And I think that must have been intentional casting.
Absolutely. I was so convinced I had to Google it during the movie because for a majority of the angles, especially from the side, I was like, that is the same man. And then my friend pointed out, he was like, well, how did they get the shadows right? I was like, I don't know. It's an Adam Sandler movie. They have the budget, like, when they're like talking to each other. I'm so convinced.
I feel like in the past, Kevin James would have played Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
This like dude with a barely concealed, I would say not concealed, alcohol problem.
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't know how to ride a bike, but is still there. It's just like every dude I've ever seen who's one of the coaches on a football team, just like there.
Yes.
Sorry, I just pulled up the cast for Home Team, and they're, at least on mobile, the overlay, like Kevin James is right above this guy, Gary Valentine, and the picture is the same picture. I just need you to look
on mobile.
The way, or I mean, also probably on whatever, but mine is stacked in this way. I'm just gonna post this in the chat because this is it's the same picture. Hold on.
I'm so nervous.
Oh no, if you hear my dog barking, I'm very sorry. She has a lot of opinions about our neighbors.
Let him speak.
Can you please load?
The cast on IMDb.
No, on Google.
Oh, on
Hold
Google.
On,
oh no.
Look at I mean,
the photos
like
do
the
look
face,
almost exactly the same.
He's
just wearing a cute little hat.
He's just wearing a hat. That's the only difference.
Yeah. It's
so
kind of fucked up. I will say, okay, this is the last thing I'm going to say about this movie. Sorry, I gotta close this fucking hat's distracting me.
There it is. Sorry, put it in the notes too.
The cameo of actual Sean Payton at the end threw me for a fucking loop. Because I Googled what Sean Payton actually looks like while I was watching the movie to try and see, like, is Kevin James doing this? Like, does he look like him? And so when Lionel showed up with this very fake wig as the custodian at the end, I was like, who's this man?
What's going on?
But Sean Payton was probably eating it up just based on who this man is.
Oh, yeah.
God, I love this hat. I love it so much.
It's so good. It's just very important to me. It's like, what if you just put a hat on Kevin James?
Right.
And
no one will know.
You haven't seen them in the same room together. It's the same.
The really fucked up thing though, is that they did put a hat on him in his IMDb photo. Kevin James he's wearing a hat, and he has sunglasses on his hat.
Well, that's how you do it, I guess.
Let me see if I can put this in here. It's so cute. I never thought that I would be a fan of Kevin. I don't know that I am a fan of Kevin James. I just think that he's funny.
Yeah.
Looking.
Is that a crime?
I don't think that he's funny. I just think that he's funny looking. Okay, I put this in here. He's got a little hat.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Anyways, this movie's wild. And they did make it. I'll tell you that. They did something with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a movie.
So it was a movie.
That felt like
I
a
have
movie.
a theory about this movie.
Please.
Ooh,
My
yes.
theory is that they had a completely different plot, and all of the audio got fucked up. So they had to work with whatever was left
Let's just
over.
ADR'd it.
They ADR'd the whole thing.
Or that, like, they didn't ADR anything, but they only kept the clips where the audio was okay.
Oh
Because,
no.
like, Taylor Lautner just doesn't talk. And, like,
No.
sometimes when they are
At all,
talking, I'm
no.
like, I can bear, like, I don't know. That's my theory, because all of, like, the little, like, side plots, like, never even wrap up. And I'm like, no. They definitely just didn't have enough material left. So that's my theory.
Right, because they just start like bringing stuff up out of nowhere. It's like, oh, let's like have this like weird dinner with one of the
Yeah.
students
That
or
was so
one of the
weird.
kids is like mom, and then escape, and it's like okay, and then like also this ongoing appeals trial that he's going through right now, which like does get tied up in the end, but it's like it just the way it's intermittently spaced through all of these is like very wild, and there's just so many different like B plots. It's like what's going on? I just want to see these little kids play some sports.
Exactly.
Okay?
So that's that. I feel like I don't know. I just don't understand. I just wish I knew. I wish I could talk to the director. I want to know the vision. How well do they think they executed it? Just curious.
Yeah, are they proud
What was
of
your
what they
grand
made?
vision?
That's what I want to know.
I want to ask, are you proud of yourself?
Can you sleep at night?
I don't know if they ask that at enough film festivals. Like, I'd love to go up and be like, actually, I do have a question, not a comment. Are you proud?
Right.
Are you, honestly, like, are you happy with what came out of this? And then just stand
Also,
there
this
in
was
silence.
like directed and written by two people. Two people had to put their brain nuggets together for this. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot.
I mean, if I
That's
learned
a lot.
anything from this podcast, though, Cody, I mean, we do have one brain cell between us. So, like,
This is true.
Let's
Maybe
not give
they
them
are
too much
sharing a
credit.
brain cell. Right. Maybe they are sharing a brain
yeah,
cell.
they're just airdropping it
That is
between each
fair.
other.
Right. Yeah. Here's version 37 of the
Right?
script.
Yeah, it's like final,
Just send it
for
over.
real, though.
Final. For real.
I'm serious. Anyways, I do hope that after this, Taylor does get back into the acting game.
Me too.
Because I just let him speak, you know?
Seriously, I feel like okay, my other theory is he was hired onto this movie because he's so good at playing like a lovable friend who like cares about you despite what you're going through, or you know, your ability to play football. And I feel like they didn't play to that strength at all for him, but I feel like that's why he was there. And then
He
they
was
just
good at it, too.
forgot.
Yeah. He's good at just being
That's
there,
true. He
you know?
is. His presence is
One
comforting.
of the hardest things to find in an actor.
One of the things that I felt like I didn't realize until watching this when they cast him and his name was Troy, and I was like, he would be really good as Coach Bolton if they ever redo the High School
Oh,
Musical movies.
fuck.
Yes. You're so right.
That would be.
So,
Incredible.
you know, Kenny Ortega, just, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Free content just for you.
Just for you. I know
Take
that
it.
you are a bonus.
Yeah, a paid subscriber.
$15 subscriber to
Twilight.
our podcast.
Yeah.
I am waiting on bated breath, Taylor, to know what fan fiction you are going to directly read to us today.
So I almost pulled up one of the fan fictions that I've written that I haven't submitted yet, but it was the first Twilight fanfic I've ever written, so I'm saving it for like...
That was also published somehow under a fucking pseudonym. You're a best-selling author and you didn't tell us.
Yeah, surprise. But I'm waiting, I think for like, I don't know, I'm waiting for another like episode
Invitation to this podcast, yeah.
Well, that
Got it.
too. Hit me up. You know where to find my secretary.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm waiting for another like milestone for the podcast, like episode 300 or 400 or something like that, like because
Damn.
it's so, it's not a good fanfic, but it is so deeply personal to me that I feel like it needs to be on a special episode.
making us work for it. Got it.
Exactly. So, okay, the title of my fanfic is An Ogre Love Affair. And the description is... Oh, sorry, I should say the author is CoolDragon96 on Tumblr.com. And everyone just take it in, collect themselves.
Yeah. How does it feel to be in this phase while we openly groan your fanfics? Is that like a different... It's a different
delivering on my job.
I think it gives Taylor power.
It does.
Yeah.
I'm like an energy vampire.
Making you stronger.
Oh my god, you are.
I'm the Colin Robinson of fanfic.
Yeah, honestly, it tracks.
Taylor Colin Robinson, Brown Town.
God damn it.
Water. It all fucking connects now.
Excuse me. So the description is, here it is, the Shrek/Twilight crossover that absolutely no one asked for. I added in a bunch of bullshit so it would make sense that Shrek and Edward exist in the same universe, heavily inspired by all the Twilight fanfiction I read at 14 years old, XOXO. Everyone have their popcorn? Okay, so Shrek gives the vampire a smile. You gonna stand there staring at me all night, or are you actually going to ask me to dance? Edward's cheeks flushed red, which should have been impossible considering he was dead and has no blood. Edward struggled to answer him. He had been intently watching Shrek the entire night because Shrek was the one person other than Bella whose mind was completely closed off to him. He had to rely on conversation and body language to determine what the ogre was feeling, which was a challenge for him. Caught red-handed staring, I'm afraid, Cullen, Shrek laughs, taking a sip of his drink. I'm sorry, Edward murmurs in that frustrating way he does, moving away from Shrek and towards the rest of the party guest. Shrek sighs, staring into his coke. With his large ogre head and inability to talk sweetly to shy vampires, he figured he'd be alone for a long while. And scene.
Whoa. I don't know the methods that you did to find this. I also don't know that I should thank you, but I am going to thank you for...
Right, yeah. It feels customary.
Yeah.
Polite.
For your powers of finding this on here. It also changes so much now, knowing that you are an energy vampire.
Yeah. Finally all makes sense.
I am curious, and if you didn't have any expectations, that's fine, but did you have any, like, expectation of the kind of fanfic I would bring, or is it just kind of, like, hoping for the best?
I was expecting the worst.
Okay, good. I'm glad, as you should. You've learned over the
Fair
years.
Yeah, we've learned our mistakes.
Yeah, I think that I always anticipate something that's like, you know what? I'm not going to say, nope. I think it's always just like whatever is the worst possible amalgamation of thoughts, things, characters, feelings.
Right, all of them.
That could be created. That is what I imagine when I open our email and look on there. And you know what? I think that is a significant talent to find, to scour, and I think that you should be proud of that.
Thank you. I do feel like sometimes the Drew Davenport of Into the Twilight.
Oh my god, yeah, absolutely.
And I take
my
that role so
God,
seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such an honor.
To be able
such an important
to
cornerstone.
go and search and filter and find the best and worst of the worst that's out there, I think is incredibly powerful skills.
Yeah.
I do it for the love of my craft.
For the Vine, yeah,
Always.
Same.
Yeah, absolutely. Always. Do everything
I'm so
for
glad
the
that the
Vine.
Vine button sound is coming back in the most rudimentary way on TikTok. It's very important to me.
Yeah.
For our friends, our family that's here, where can they go to ask you insurance questions or to support your exorcism fund now that you live next to a cemetery?
You can follow me at Ranch Tay on Twitter and Ranch Tay with 2 Y's on Instagram. And if you know Betty, who owns the Ranch Tay with 1 Y on Instagram account, please let me know. I keep messaging her and she does not respond, but I want it so badly.
Go bully.
No.
Bully to get your brand.
I sent that woman so many messages. She's never read them. One time, I sent her the lyrics of Taylor Swift's songs Betty, but changed out to me asking her for the Instagram account. She didn't respond.
Holy shit.
How could you not respond to that dedication?
Damn.
But
That's really fucked up. I'm sorry.
thank you so much.
We actually don't have an ending to our bonus episode, so it feels inappropriate to do our usual ending.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm really glad that you've been here, Taylor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have...
What a
Thank you
treat.
for sucking our energy for an hour.
Yeah.
It's been my dream for several years, but one that I never expressed because I was like, I don't want y'all to feel bad saying no. So I just very quietly, like, I would text my best friend and I'd be like, I would love to be on Into the Twilight. I would like, that would be my dream.
Hey, you did it.
You did it.
Thank
you done did it.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, we don't have an ending to these episodes, so stay thirsty.
No,
Give
and
us
we never
suggestions
will.
for October.
Yes.
And
see you on the flip side.
yeah, do kickflips. Okay, bye.
Yeah.